Okay, so I thought this would be kind of a fun video to do of my new dog. Um, I guess technically he's not new because we've had him for like a year and a half. Year and a half? Yeah, a year and a half. Um, we've had him for a year and a half. We got him not last Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before. And he's a rescue, and his name is Cliff. Um, and my mom did something crazy, and she hooked his dog leash around the sweet custom tag I got off of Amazon that I made for him. And so it got ripped off. So now, now Cliff's name is ID number 982 blah 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 blah. He's a freaking chip. He's a chip. That's all he is now. He's not a real dog. He's a robot. Mr. Roboto. You're gonna sneeze, aren't you? Do it. No? Okay, anyway though. So he's a rescue dog that my family and I have had for a year and a half. Technically he's my dog, but like all the paperwork and stuff is in my name. But since my mom moved to Colorado and my dad and I are manning the fort in Minnesota, I decided that it'd be a nice gift to give little Clifford to my mom. And plus, he's a female's dog. He's a female's dog. It doesn't mean you're a coward, Cliff. But yeah, so he's technically my dog, but he's now gonna be permanently my mom's because yeah, it's someone she can have protect her and give her something to do while she's literally just at a townhouse all by herself for now until my dad moves out to Colorado. Yeah, little history on Mr. Cliff. My family and I rescued him, like I said, on a Thanksgiving, 2 Thanksgivings ago. From a PetSmart, they had like this animal rescue, dog rescue group. I think they're called like New Leash or New Hope, or actually I shouldn't mess them up because the woman really hated one of the rescue groups. But he was from a rescue group, and they did this thing on the weekends where they had all these rescue dogs go to a PetSmart, and then you go and you try to figure out what dog best suits you and your family. Excuse me. And so yeah, we went to a few PetSmarts, and there wasn't really anything that kind of caught my eye or caught my sister's eyes or my parents' eyes. Well, I guess there's this one female dog named like freaking Mrs. Red or some shit, and I don't know. I don't know. That it was just yeah, nah. So we went to a couple places, and then we found this beast at our very last PetSmart we went to, obviously because we got him, and he wasn't a very friendly dog. He wasn't shy either. You know what I mean? And there was a bunch of people looking around at dogs. They probably had like, if I remember correctly, there's probably like 10 dogs. But there was probably a dozen or more people easily. And that doesn't include like the kids, like a dozen different families there. But everybody was obsessed with Cliff because he's a really cute dog. He's some sort of terrier. The vet doesn't know what the hell he is. The foster didn't know what he was. But he's like a miniature black lab. He's 25 pounds of pure dog, and yeah, he's a beast. But he was really scaring away a lot of people. Like little kids, he would bark at and try to nip at when they try to stick their fingers in the cage. And he wasn't really making a good first impression. So people just took pictures of him because he was really cute, but nobody wanted the dog. And in comes me, right? Bum, ba, bum, bum. And so, yeah, so I decided that, hey, we should give this dog a chance because I love dogs, first of all. And second of all, rescue dogs don't, having a rescue dog before Cliff, rescue dogs make a terrible first impression. Terrible. Like every one of them. they bark. I mean, some are different, but like the male terriers, everyone that we checked out, they bark. Are you gonna fall asleep? This is a video on you, Cliff. Oh, somebody's sleepy. But yeah, they always make like a really bad first impression. They're always like barking and this and that, and they're hyper, and they just want to get adopted. But the problem is, in their mind, they want to get adopted, but they act in a manner that's like, stay the fuck clear of me, I'm a psychopath. And Cliff was no different. He was more so one of the crazy ones. Cliff, you're actually gonna fall asleep. Somebody's tired. Rockabye, baby. You're a good boy. Yeah, so Cliff, I gotta keep the story going. It's gonna take forever. So Cliff, I decided, and my family decided that we should give him a chance. So we talked to the lady named Katie, who was Cliff's foster. Like, hey, can we take the dog out of the here? And like, hey, can we take the dog out of his cage, out of his kennel, and just like play with him and stuff? And she's like, all right, we got to warn you, though. He is a high-risk flight dog or something like that. Like, he's a high-risk dog because he flees. And flees as in, like, runs the fuck away. And for his life. And I guess they had a couple incidents where he, like, ran out of the PetSmarts and stuff. So he had a harness. He had to wear a harness on its own separate leash. Then he had to wear a collar, one of the collars, where it tightens when you pull on it. So... or like when he tries to run away, it goes really tight so he can't slip it. And then that had its own separate leash. So he literally had like maximum security on him, maximum protection from himself. Hey, you're on video. You can't be doing that. And so, yeah. So she was nice enough to obviously let him come out and play with my family and I. And we walked him around. And same with everybody else. They were walking their dogs around. We were walking Cliff around. Or their potential dogs, I should say. And Cliff just decides he's just going to shit everywhere. The PetSmart was fucking his. Cliffy, Googie. Huh? The PetSmart was his. And so he decided he was gonna shit on anything and everything to mark his territory. And so he did that, and it didn't really leave a good impression on my dad, but I thought that shit was, no pun intended, was hysterical. And so yeah, I kept growing to like him. Like, he was trying to flee too. Like, he was pulling like a mofo, but I don't know, he just had something different about him. Like, he was just a different beast, different rescue dog. And so we decided, hey, you know what? Cliff might be the one. Let's give him a chance. And when I say give him a chance, we knew we were going to come home with him. And so Katie, the foster, was like, okay, well, we have a lot of things on Cliff. You have to have an outdoor fence, like 5 feet tall type outdoor fence. You have to have an indoor playpen for him. You have to have this and that. You can't live on a busy road. And we're like, what in the actual hell? We don't have a fence in our yard. Our yard's wide open. We live on the corner of a 4-way stop. We are one of the busiest houses in the freaking neighborhood. And so we had a lot of things going against us, right? And my dad was like, all right, it's not meant to be. Like, we can't. Like, Dad, every one of these dogs is a freaking flight risk, okay? Trust me. So, it's bad echo in this room because we took everything out. My dad and I painted this room. This is my oldest sister's room. But yeah. But okay, back to the story. So, we kind of sugarcoated. We didn't really lie to him and say we had an outdoor fence or anything like that. We told him we had like an indoor playpen. We didn't. But we kind of finagled our way into getting to the paperwork part. And like most normal dogs, and when I say normal, just to clarify, like dogs that have never been beaten or abused, dogs that were just like new at a PetSmart or just from a farm, just out of a litter. Like that's what I mean. Like those dogs, it's like a single transaction. You give them like a few $100, boom, you're gone. Rescue dogs, no way. And we didn't know this, even though my last dog was a rescue dog. We got him from my aunt who rescued. So this was our first time ever actually like adopting a rescue dog. And so people are gonna be mad if I'm not petting you, even though I pet the shit out of you. But so yeah, there's a million things that ask you like, how many hours are you home for in the day? Are there gonna be people to take care of them? How much do you make? The average rescue dog costs what is it, like $2,000 a year or something, or a few thousand a year or something. Cliff, we don't want to see your backside, boy. We don't want to see your backside. So yeah, so we got to the point where she was like, "All right, you guys are accepted. When do you guys want Cliff or whatever?" We're like, kind of like as soon as possible, but we knew we couldn't, get him right away because we didn't have our house ready. We were kind of going just to like see. We didn't know we would actually come home with the dog, especially because we went to a couple other PetSmarts with rescue dogs, and it was no dice. So our house wasn't really ready. Like we didn't have toys ready and stuff, and so the foster, Cliff's foster, Katie, decided that she could go and bring Cliff at a later time, and we get our house ready. So that's what we did, and like I said, we didn't have an indoor playpen for him, so I hauled ass out in the middle of a freaking blizzard. I mean, it was basically a blizzard. It was a heavy snowstorm. Went to a bunch of stores, couldn't find anything at these stores, so I settled for like a Walmart, and because I saw a picture online that said they had like indoor dog playpens or whatever, and they didn't, I guess, even though the location I was at said it did. So I was asking the employees, and like, we don't have it. We don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, all right, quit giving me the runaround shit. And so I was like, oh, I got a good idea. What about a baby playpen or whatever? And that's what I went with. So I spent like $120 on a baby playpen that I knew Cliff would never use, but I knew that we needed to have before the foster was going to arrive like within an hour. So I bought it, hauled ass home, barely beat the lady back. My dad and I set up this freaking baby pen, whatever, which, by the way, that shit was probably reminding my dad of working on fucking the B-2 bomber for the Air Force. Because that shit, even though it's for a baby, the directions are written in every dialect of fucking... Well, no, it's like every... I don't know, there's like 1,000 different Chinese languages. There's like Mandarin. I don't know. I don't freaking know Chinese. But there was so many things other than English or Spanish, stuff that you can like... At least that I can, figure out. So we put that together. My sisters and my mom were cleaning the house. And then Kitty arrived with Mr. Cliff, and we welcomed him in. We had all of Huck's, my old rescue dog's toys, and yeah. So his foster Katie was like really worried. She's like, hey, he might not want to leave my side or this and that, or like he might be really scared. It might take him a full week to come out of hiding, which was what happened with Huck. He would hide under our ping pong table in our basement. So, like, all right. The second that Cliff came into our house, he was freaking going bonkers. This dog was going insane. He was going freaking sicko mode on the scene. And he just went up to everybody in our family because he just saw us a couple hours ago at PetSmart. And he was so happy. And he was playing with Huck's old toys. And he loved our house. He was going in every room sniffing it. Wasn't taking a shit in it. So that was good. And yeah, he was just loving it. So that made his foster super happy. That made us really happy. But it was really sad because his foster started crying. She, it had to have been hard on her because, like, in her mind, she was crying because she was happy because she was like, I really hope, Cliff takes their family well, takes my family well, which he did right away. So that made her happy. But on the flip side, she was his personal foster. She had other dogs too, but for someone that she spent a lot of time with to just all of a sudden kind of ditch her and be happy without her, I know it hurt. But my family comforted Katie, and Cliff was doing his own thing, and we were talking to her, making sure she was good. She was happy. She took some pictures of her family to make sure everything was legit, and probably to put on like Facebook or whatever to show that a dog got rescued and looks like a loving family and all that. And so yeah, so we rescued this Mr. Cliff, and that foster named him Cliff, and it's a really good name. I like it. We didn't want to switch it. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I said he was 2 when we rescued him, so now he's like 3.5 ish. Let's just say 4 maybe for fun, because 4 is my favorite number. But yeah, he's a really sweet boy, and he's home right now. We're in Minnesota. Like, let's see. Well, that won't help. Everybody has grass and stuff. But yeah, we're in Minnesota. He's a Colorado dog. He's living that Colorado high life. But he came back to visit before we sell the house. That's why this room is almost completely empty, other than a few things for my dad from working at home. But yeah, he's a Colorado dog, and this is gonna be his last time ever in Minnesota. And I haven't seen him in a few months. And obviously he's so excited. Wait, you have gray? You have you have gray right there? Show him what a killer looks like. Anyway, so yeah, he what was I saying? Yeah, he's a Colorado dog now, so I miss him, and he came home, and he's gonna be home for a week. He sleeps on my bed. He's the best travel dog ever. When we were renting moving trucks and taking him out to Colorado from Minnesota, this dog would sit on my lap the whole 12, 13, I don't know, however long, 13 hours the drive was. It didn't matter. My dad could be completely just wanting to pet him in the passenger seat. I drove the whole way, start to finish, because why not? Put the team on my back, you know what it is. But or he would have an open seat, and this dog has to lay in my lap. It literally, head is hitting the steering wheel. It's not like it's not really safe, but it's not unsafe. I'm not gonna put anybody, especially my dad, at risk. But yeah, so Cliff is like, he's my mom's dog now, and he's holding down the fort in Colorado. But he got to come visit Minnesota, and I'm super happy. And what else do I have to say about him? I mean, he's a beast. He is literally a barcode. He's a barcode. He needs a new tag. Tag I had for him was sweet. But of course, my mom hooked that shit on his freaking thing, and whatever. Cliffy, come here. Hey, look at what he did. Look at what he did to this toy. This is a Red Bull replica, and this dog he's putting holes in it, craters in it. But yeah, he is a sweet boy. He's a really sweet boy, and I thought this would be a fun video. Like I said, in the first 20 seconds of the video, I just wanted you guys to kind of see my dog. And if no one watches this, or if only a couple people or whatever, this is just for me. So when I'm feeling sad, and when this dog's, in Colorado, and I'm all by myself in New York City, I can just, watch this and have 20 minutes of just relaxing, happiness. So yeah, so it's kind of what it is. Yeah, I hope you guys really do, find my dog kind of interesting and cool. I didn't really get to make him do anything. He doesn't really do anything other than eat and sleep in my lap, but he's a sweet boy, and I would urge anybody that ever wants a dog that can handle them to look into rescue dogs. Seriously, any type of dog, any type of animal, but rescue dogs are something different about them. Yeah, thanks for watching. And Cliff is a beast, and Cliff's gonna go play. He's gonna go play. No, he's gonna go sleep. Cliff's dreaming of McChicken, Big Mac, McDouble, quarter pounder with cheese, French fries. All right. Thanks for watching.